Welcome. Whatever brought you here, I am glad you found this. If this helps you, please like and subscribe. You might not think you need this right now, but you do. And so does someone else who will find it through you. Let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you are living someone else's life? Like you are checking boxes, doing what you are supposed to do, but still feel empty? Or maybe you are stuck, paralyzed by a decision, afraid to move forward, afraid to stay still. Maybe you have tried everything. Therapy, self-help, and you are still carrying this weight. Here is what nobody tells you. The problem is not that you are broken. You have forgotten who you are. You think you are your job title, your relationship status, your mistakes, your achievements. And when those are threatened, you panic. But what if none of that is actually you? What if the real you cannot be criticized, cannot fail, cannot be damaged? Stay with me. There is ancient wisdom that has helped people for thousands of years. Not religion, just truth about how life works. And once you see it, everything changes. Not because your circumstances change, but because you change how you see them. Right now, you are living like a wave, terrified of crashing. But what if you are actually the ocean? The wave comes and goes, but the ocean, always there, always whole. That is what you are. You just forgot. So notice that voice in your head, the one that never stops, planning tomorrow, replaying yesterday, judging, worrying. You think that voice is you. It is not. You are the thing that hears that voice, the awareness behind it. You are aware of your thoughts, which means you cannot be your thoughts. You are aware of emotions, which means you are not those emotions. Your body changes every day, but whatever is looking through your eyes, that has been the same your whole life. That awareness, that is the real you. And here is what changes everything. That awareness cannot be hurt, cannot be damaged, cannot fail. Your reputation destroyed. That is not you. Your body sick. That is not you. Plans falling apart. That is not you. Those are things happening to the character you are playing. But you, the awareness watching, untouchable. You have spent your life thinking you are the character, the person with the name, the history, the problems, the goals. So when bad things happen, you think they are happening to the real you. And that is terrifying. That is why every criticism feels like an attack. Every failure feels like the end. But what if you are not the character? What if you are the actor playing the character? The character can fail, can die. But the actor, fine, just takes off the costume and goes home. That is what you are. The actor, the awareness, the eternal witness. And once you get this, fear loses its power. Because what is there to fear? The real you cannot be harmed. You can still care deeply, work hard, love people, but you are not desperate anymore. Not making your worth depend on outcomes you cannot control. You are rooted in something deeper, something stable. And from that place, you live better, love better, work better. Because you are not constantly afraid, not grasping, not defending. Just here, present, alive, free. This wisdom comes from a conversation 2,500 years ago, between a man completely stuck and a guide who helped him see clearly. His name was Arjuna, standing at the biggest moment of his life. Completely frozen. Not because he did not know what to do, but because he saw all the ways it could go wrong. The cost, the consequences, the weight. Maybe you know that feeling. That paralysis when both paths feel wrong. Stay or leave. Risk or play safe. Speak or stay quiet. Arjuna could not move. And his guide, Krishna, said something that changed everything. You think you will lose something? You think something will be destroyed? The real you cannot lose, cannot be destroyed, is eternal. And suddenly, Arjuna could breathe. This conversation became the Bhagavad Gita. For thousands of years, helping people see clearly when they are lost. Not religion. Practical wisdom for living. The first thing Krishna taught is what I showed you. You are not what you think you are. Not your thoughts. Not your feelings. Not your story. You are the awareness behind all of it. And that changes everything. If you are not your thoughts, you do not have to believe every thought. That voice saying you are not good enough. Just a thought. Not truth. That fear saying you will fail. Just a thought. Not reality. That anxiety about the future. Just a thought. Not what is happening now. You can observe thoughts without being controlled by them. Like clouds passing through the sky. The sky does not become the clouds. It just watches them pass. That is you. The sky. Not the clouds. And when you understand this, you start to relax. Most of your suffering is not from what is happening. It is from thoughts about what is happening. The story you tell. The meaning you make. The fear you add. Take that away. And what is left? Just this moment. Just what is actually here. And usually, right now, you are okay. You are breathing. Alive. Here. This is freedom. Not freedom from having thoughts. Freedom from being controlled by them. You can feel anxiety without becoming anxious. Feel sadness without becoming sad. Subtle difference. Huge impact. One traps you. The other frees you. So practice this now. Notice a thought. Any thought. Instead of diving in, just observe it. Oh. There is a thought about tomorrow. A thought about that conversation. A judgment. Just notice. Do not fight it. Just see it. And recognize. You are the one seeing it. Which means you are not it. This is the beginning. Where freedom starts. Now Krishna goes deeper. Arjuna asks the obvious question. Okay. I understand I am not my thoughts. But I still have to live. Make decisions. Act. So what do I do? Krishna's answer is brilliant. Act without attachment. Do what needs to be done. Give it everything. But let go of demanding specific results. This is karma yoga. The path of action. Too many variables outside your control. The only thing you truly control is the effort you give right now. The choice you make in this moment. That is it. That is all you have. So give that fully. Not because it guarantees success, but because it is yours to give. Then let go. Let the universe handle the rest. This does not mean you do not care. It means you care about the right things. You care about showing up, being honest, doing your best. But you do not make your peace depend on getting the outcome you want. Knowing that whatever happens, you will be okay. Because the real you cannot not be okay. Now Krishna talks about the mind. Because this is where most people get stuck. Arjuna says exactly what you might be thinking. Krishna, I understand this intellectually. But my mind will not stop. Thoughts are everywhere. How do I actually do this? And Krishna answers honestly. The mind is restless, turbulent, hard to control, like trying to hold the wind. But he also says something hopeful. It can be mastered. Not instantly, not easily, but it can be done. The mind is not your enemy. It is just untrained. Like a puppy that has never learned to sit still. Right now your mind runs everywhere. And you run after it. It thinks about the past. You are in the past. It worries about the future. You feel anxious. It judges you. You feel bad. The mind leads. You follow. But this is not how it has to be. You can train the mind. You can become the master instead of the servant. And Krishna gives two tools. Practice and detachment. Practice means training your attention like a muscle. You sit. You breathe. You notice when your mind wanders. And when it does, you do not judge. You do not get frustrated. You gently bring it back. Back to the breath. Back to the body. Back to this moment. Again. And again. And again. That is the practice. Not staying focused, but returning when you drift. 10 times. 100 times. 1,000 times. Every return is progress. Every return is strength. Slowly, something changes. You start noticing gaps between thoughts. Moments of quiet. Moments of space. Not because there are fewer thoughts, but because you are no longer chasing every one. You are creating distance. And in that distance, freedom begins. Now Krishna explains detachment. And this is where people often misunderstand. Detachment does not mean not caring. It means not clinging. You can enjoy things without needing to possess them. You can love people without needing to control them. You can want outcomes without being destroyed if they do not happen. You hold everything lightly, like sand in an open palm. Clench your fist and the sand slips away. Keep your hand open and it stays. That is detachment. Open. Relaxed. Allowing. Not forcing life to be a certain way. And here is what happens when you practice this. Life gets easier. Not because problems disappear, but because you stop adding suffering on top of pain. Pain is unavoidable. Loss happens. Illness happens. Endings happen. That hurts. But suffering is optional. Suffering is the story you tell about the pain. The meaning you add. The resistance. The argument with reality. You can feel pain without being destroyed by it. You can grieve without drowning. You can hurt without losing yourself. This is equanimity. Steadiness. Like a mountain in a storm. The storm is real. But the mountain does not collapse. Not because it does not feel the storm, but because it is rooted deeper. That is what you are cultivating. Rooted presence. And it does not happen overnight. Some days your mind will be calm. Other days chaotic. That is normal. What matters is that you keep returning. Keep choosing awareness over reaction. Every return changes you. Quietly. Gradually. Permanently. Then Krishna explains why we keep repeating patterns we know are harmful. Arjuna asks the question many people ask. Why do I keep doing things I know are not good for me? Why do I lose control? Krishna describes a chain, a sequence that traps almost everyone. It begins with desire. You see something you want. That part is natural. But if the desire is blocked, something shifts. Unfulfilled desire becomes frustration. Frustration becomes anger. Anger clouds the mind. When the mind is clouded, judgment collapses. You forget who you are. You forget your values. You forget what actually matters. And in that state, you act unconsciously. You say the thing you regret. You make the choice your future self pays for. Not because you are bad, but because you were caught in the chain. Desire, frustration, anger, delusion, forgetfulness. Poor choice. But here is the good news. You can break the chain at any point. You can notice desire without becoming enslaved by it. I want this, but I do not need it to be okay. You can catch frustration early. This hurts, but it is not the end of the world. You can notice when anger arises. Pause. Breathe. You can step out of the reaction. And when you do, clarity returns. Choice returns. Freedom returns. This is self-mastery, not perfection. Awareness. Krishna then introduces the three gunas, the forces that shape every state of mind. Understanding them changes everything. The first is sattva. Clarity, peace, balance. When sattva is dominant, life feels lighter. You think clearly, act wisely, feel connected. Then there is rajas. Activity, passion, restlessness. Rajas gives ambition, energy, movement. But too much creates anxiety. Always chasing, never satisfied. Then there is tamas. Inertia, heaviness, confusion. Tamas makes you feel stuck, low energy, avoidant, disconnected. Everyone has all three. They are always shifting. Your job is not to eliminate them. Your job is to recognize which one is active and respond wisely. Food affects them. Sleep affects them. Media affects them. People affect them. When you understand this, you stop judging yourself. You stop thinking something is wrong with you. You realize you are just in a state. And states can change. When you are in tamas, do not make big decisions. Do not trust heavy thoughts. Focus on movement, light, connection. When you are in rajas, slow down. Breathe. Simplify. Ground yourself. When you are in sattva, listen closely. This is when insight comes. This is when decisions are clear. This is when creation flows. Use those moments wisely. Krishna then speaks about Dharma, your purpose, not as some distant destiny, but what is right in front of you. Your responsibilities, your skills, your circumstances. That is your Dharma. And he says something radical. It is better to do your own Dharma imperfectly than someone else's perfectly. Stop comparing. Stop thinking you should be somewhere else. What if where you are right now is exactly where you are meant to be? Not because it is comfortable, but because it is yours. When you meet your life fully, it stops being a burden. It becomes sacred. Same actions, completely different experience. Because you are no longer acting from fear. You are acting from truth. Krishna says something that changes how you see your entire life. It is better to do your own dharma imperfectly than to do someone else's perfectly. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop assuming you should be somewhere else. What if what you are doing right now is exactly what you are meant to be doing? Not because it looks impressive, not because people approve of it, but because it is yours. That job you think is beneath you. What if you did it with full presence? With integrity? With care? That relationship that feels difficult? What if it is teaching you patience, honesty, love? That body you criticize? What if you treated it with respect instead of resentment? Your dharma is not somewhere else. It is here. And when you meet what is here fully, it stops feeling like a burden. It becomes meaningful. You are no longer just working for money. You are contributing energy to life. You are no longer trapped in obligation. You are offering yourself. Same actions, different inner posture. And that changes everything. Krishna then reveals something deeper. He says there is no real separation. Not between you and others. Not between you and life. Not between you and the divine. There is only one consciousness, appearing as many, like an ocean forming waves. Each wave looks separate, but it is all water. You are not a wave worried about dissolving. You are the ocean, and the ocean does not fear waves. When you truly see this, fear weakens. How can you hate another when they are you in another form? How can you feel alone when you are the whole? How can you fear death when you are not the body? This is not philosophy. It is direct recognition. You are consciousness, experiencing itself as this particular form. And forms change. But what you are does not. Krishna uses an image Arjuna understands. An actor playing a role. When the role ends, the actor does not die. They simply change costumes. That is you, the eternal actor, playing this character for a while, living this story for a time. When this role ends, you do not end. You continue, because consciousness cannot stop. It is not something that exists. It is existence itself. It is not something that happens. It is what is happening. And when you see this, life stops feeling so heavy. Mistakes become lessons. Failures become information. Loss becomes transformation. Nothing is personal anymore. It is all movement, all unfolding, all play. Krishna says this is liberation, not escaping life. Seeing life clearly, not denying pain. Understanding it does not define you. You can experience sorrow without becoming sorrow. You can experience fear without being owned by fear. You remain present, grounded, free. This is not detachment from life. It is intimacy without attachment. Caring deeply, without clinging. Engaging fully, without losing yourself. This is balance. This is wisdom. Living fully human, while knowing you are more than human. That is freedom. Arjuna asks to see this truth directly. Krishna grants him divine vision. And Arjuna sees everything. All worlds. All beings. All time. Creation and destruction. Happening simultaneously. He sees warriors rushing into Krishna's form. He sees destiny unfolding. And he is terrified. Because the human mind cannot hold infinity. Krishna says something shocking. I am time, the destroyer of worlds. Everything that will happen is already unfolding. You are not separate from it. You are part of it. Your choices matter, but you are not in control of everything. And that truth humbles Arjuna and frees him. Arjuna asks Krishna to return to a gentler form. The vision is too vast, and Krishna does, and says this understanding is rare. Even the gods long for it. But you do not need to stay in cosmic vision. You are meant to live as human, to love, to act, to participate, while knowing the deeper truth. This is the art. Living in the world, without being owned by it. Caring deeply, while holding lightly. That is wisdom. Krishna speaks of devotion, not as blind belief, but as sincere openness. Devotion means giving yourself fully to something larger than ego. Truth, love, life. You do not need religion. You need sincerity. Love bypasses the mind. It softens resistance. It dissolves fear. When you love deeply, you are aligned with reality, because love is the nature of consciousness. And when you live from love, you live from truth. Krishna describes the qualities of a realized person. They are steady. They are gentle. They are not driven by praise or blame. They care for others naturally, not as performance, as expression. They are not perfect. They are present. And presence changes everything. You do not need to become special. You need to become real, honest, aware. Here, Krishna explains renunciation. Not giving up life. Giving up attachment. You can act fully, without demanding outcomes. You can love fully, without needing control. This is freedom in action. Not escape. Not withdrawal. Engaged. Alive. Unbound. Life flows more easily. When you stop gripping it, you stop fighting reality. And reality stops feeling like an enemy. In surrender, peace appears. Not because circumstances change, but because resistance drops. Peace is not something you create. It is what remains. When you stop resisting what is, under every thought, under every emotion, there is stillness. That stillness is you. And you can return to it in any moment, by stopping, by noticing. That presence is always here, waiting, unchanged. That is your refuge. That is your home. But you do not. You just have to show up. Be present. Do your part. The universe handles the rest. Has always handled the rest. Will always handle the rest. You are not alone in this. You are not carrying it all. You are part of something vast. Something intelligent. Something that knows what it is doing. Trust that. Surrender to that. Flow with that. And watch how everything opens. How support comes. How the path reveals itself. Not because you figured it out. Because you stop blocking it. Stop trying to force it. Stop thinking you knew better than life itself. You do not. Life knows. Consciousness knows. The universe knows. And when you align with that, when you trust that, when you flow with that, you are carried, supported, guided, not in some magical thinking way, in a natural, flowing, effortless way. Things work out. Not always how you planned, but often better than you planned. Because you are seeing from a limited perspective. Life sees from an infinite perspective. You are thinking about next week. Life is thinking about your whole journey. You are worried about this one thing. Life is weaving everything together. You are afraid of this change. Life knows this change is exactly what is needed. So trust. Even when you cannot see it. Even when it does not make sense. Even when it is hard. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be. Learning exactly what you need to learn. Becoming exactly who you need to become. Not someday. Right now. In this. Through this. As this. Every moment is teaching. Every challenge is an invitation. Every difficulty is an opportunity. To grow. To wake up. To remember. Not as punishment. As gift. As grace. As love calling you home. And home is not some far-off place. Home is here. In this moment. In this breath. In this presence. You are always home. You just forget sometimes. Get lost in story. In drama. In fear. But home never left. You just stopped noticing. So notice now. Right now. This moment. This breath. This aliveness. This presence. This is home. This is peace. This is what you have been seeking everywhere else. And it was here all along. Waiting. Patiently. For you to stop. To be still. To recognize. What you already are. What you have always been. What you will always be. The eternal witness. The unchanging awareness. The consciousness that is everything. You are that. Not as belief. As direct recognition. As obvious truth. Feel it now. Notice the awareness that is hearing these words. The presence that is experiencing this moment. That is you. That is what you are. That is home. And from that home, from that recognition, from that knowing, you can live fully, freely, joyfully, not perfectly, not without difficulty, but without being destroyed by difficulty, without losing yourself in drama, without forgetting what you are. You stay rooted, grounded, home, while the waves crash, while the storms come, while life unfolds. You remain steady, present, free. This is mastery, not perfection, not control, but presence, awareness, being. And it is simple. So simple that people miss it. They are looking for something complex, something difficult, something far away. But it is here. It is simple. It is you. Just this. Just now. Just being. That is all. That is everything. That is liberation. This is the path. Not linear. Not straightforward. But spiraling. Returning. Deepening. Each time you forget and remember, you go deeper. Each time you lose and find yourself, you understand more. Each time you wander and return, you are more rooted. So be patient with yourself. Be kind. Be gentle. This is lifelong. This is the journey. Not to somewhere, but deeper into here. Not to become someone, but to recognize what you are. And that recognition is happening now. In you. As you hear these words, as you feel their truth resonating, something is shifting. Something is opening. Something is remembering. Not necessarily as a dramatic moment. Maybe quietly, subtly, gently. But it is happening. You are waking up. And once awakening begins, it does not stop. It may slow. It may pause. It may feel like regression. But it is always moving. Always deepening. Always bringing you home. Because that is the direction. That is the momentum. That is the natural movement of consciousness. Toward recognition. Toward truth. Toward itself. And you are that consciousness. So you are moving toward yourself. Toward truth. Toward home. Always. You are not apart. You are a part. An expression. A manifestation. Of the whole. Of the one. Of consciousness itself. And when you really get this, when you really see this, everything changes. How can you feel lonely when you are the totality? How can you feel lost when you are the path? How can you feel afraid when you are eternal? You cannot. The human self can. The character can. The ego can. But you, the real you, cannot. Because you know. You see. You understand. This is all play. All dream. All consciousness appearing as form. And you are that consciousness. Not separate from it. Not seeking it. You are it. Always have been. Always will be. So rest in that. Abide as that. Lie from that. Not as something you achieve. As something you recognize. As what you already are. This is the teaching. This is the pointing. This is what Krishna was showing Arjuna. And what is being shown to you now. And from that truth, from that reality, from that knowing, everything becomes workable. Everything becomes bearable. Everything becomes even beautiful. Not because pain disappears, but because you know it is not happening to the real you. Not because challenges stop, but because you know you can handle them. Not because life becomes perfect, but because you stop needing it to be perfect. You are okay with it as it is. Okay with you as you are. Okay with everything as it is. Not as resignation. As acceptance. As seeing reality clearly. And in that seeing, in that acceptance, in that okayness, there is peace. Not the peace that comes from getting what you want. The peace that is always here. Because it is what you are. Peace is not a state you achieve. It is what remains when you stop creating disturbance. When you stop resisting reality. When you stop fighting what is. Just stop. And peace is here. It was always here. This is the practice. Simple. Accessible. Always available. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Until it is not something you do. It is what you are. You are not practicing presence. You are being present. You are not trying to be aware. You are awareness. You are not seeking peace. You are peace. This is the shift. From doing to being. From seeking to recognizing. From becoming to already are. And it is subtle. So subtle that the mind misses it. The mind wants something more. Something bigger. Something dramatic. But truth is quiet. Simple. Obvious. Always here. Just this. Just now. Just being. That is all. That is everything. That is liberation. And Arjuna is beginning to see this. His questions are changing. He is no longer asking how to do. He is asking how to be. How to live from this recognition. How to embody this truth. And Krishna tells him something simple. Just be yourself. Your true self. Not the ego. Not the personality. Not the character. But the awareness. The presence. The consciousness. That is who you really are. So be that. Live from that. Act from that. And everything you do will be right action. Not because you followed rules, but because you are aligned with truth. Not because you are trying to be good, but because goodness is your nature. Not because you are avoiding wrong, but because you are naturally flowing with what is right. This is integrity. Not a moral code, but natural alignment with truth. And when you are aligned, when you are flowing, when you are being your true self, you do not have to think about right and wrong. You just know. You just act. Naturally. Effortlessly. Rightly. Not because you are perfect, but because you are present. Not because you are enlightened, but because you are awake. In this moment. To this moment. As this moment. And that is all that is ever asked. That is all that is ever needed. Just this moment. Just this presence. Just this being. And if you miss it, if you forget, if you get lost, no problem. Just return. Just remember. Just come back. That is the practice. Not getting it right forever, but returning when you notice you have left. And you will leave. Many times. We all do. That is being human. That is the dance. Forgetting and remembering. Leaving and returning. Lost and found. Over and over. And that is okay. That is perfect. That is exactly how it works. So be gentle with yourself. Be patient. Be kind. You are doing it. You are on the path. You are waking up. Even when it does not feel like it. Even when you feel stuck. Even when you feel lost. You are moving. Growing. Deepening. Because you are here. Listening. Opening. Willing. And that willingness. That is everything. That is all that is needed. The rest unfolds naturally. Not because you force it. Because you allow it. Not because you figure it out. Because you surrender to it. Not because you make it happen. Because you let it happen. This is the art. This is the skill. This is the wisdom. Knowing when to act. And when to allow. When to do. And when to be. When to try. And when to trust. And you learn that through practice. Through experience. Through living. There is no manual. No perfect formula. Just your own direct experience. Your own inner knowing. Your own truth. And that truth is unique to you. Your path is yours. Your journey is yours. Your awakening is yours. So do not compare. Do not judge. Do not think you should be somewhere else. You are exactly where you need to be. Learning exactly what you need to learn. Becoming exactly who you need to become. Trust that. Know that. Rest in that. And keep going. Keep showing up. Keep being present. That is all. That is enough. That is everything. Now we are coming to the end of this conversation. The end of this teaching. But not the end of the journey. The journey continues. In you. Through you. As you. Every day. Every moment. Every breath. This is just the beginning. Just the opening. Just the invitation. To live differently. To see differently. To be differently. Not as a big dramatic change, but as a subtle shift. In perspective. In understanding. In recognition. And that shift changes everything. Even though nothing changes. Same life. Same circumstances. Same you. But a completely different experience. Because you are seeing from truth now. Living from awareness now. Being from presence now. And that makes all the difference. Not in what happens, but in how you meet what happens. Not in external circumstances, but in internal experience. Not in the content of life, but in the context. And the context is this. You are not who you thought you were. You are not the small, separate, struggling self. You are the infinite, eternal, free consciousness. Playing human for a while. Experiencing limitation. Experiencing form. Experiencing duality. But never truly limited. Never truly separate. Never truly bound. Always free. Always whole. Always home. You just forgot. For a while. To play the game. To have the experience. To know yourself through contrast. Through challenge. Through forgetting and remembering. And now you are remembering. Waking up. Coming home. Not to somewhere else. To here. To now. To what you have always been. And as you remember. As you recognize. As you know. Everything softens. Everything opens. Everything becomes lighter. Because you are not carrying it alone anymore. Because you are not making it all so serious anymore. Because you know it is play. Sacred play. Meaningful play. Divine play. But play nonetheless. And you can play fully. Joyfully. Freely. Knowing the real you is safe. Knowing nothing can truly harm you. Knowing you are eternal. And that knowing changes how you live. How you love. How you show up. Everything becomes bolder. Freer. More alive. Because what is there to fear? What is there to lose? What is there to protect? The ego can die. The personality can be criticized. The body can be hurt. But you, the real you, untouchable. And from that place of safety, of knowing, of recognition, you can take risks. Be vulnerable. Love fully. Live completely. Not holding back. Not protecting yourself. Not playing small. But showing up. All of you. The messy. Beautiful. Imperfect. Human you. Because that too is divine. That too is consciousness. That too is sacred. All of it. All of you. Nothing excluded. Nothing rejected. Nothing denied. Everything is welcomed. Everything is allowed. Everything is embraced. As part of the whole. As expression of consciousness. As divine play. This is wholeness. This is healing. This is coming home to all of yourself. not just the spiritual part. All parts. The light and the shadow. The strength and the weakness. The clarity and the confusion. All of it. Welcomed. Accepted. Loved. Because it is all you. It is all consciousness. It is all divine. And when you stop rejecting parts of yourself, when you stop trying to be perfect, when you stop hiding the messy human bits, something beautiful happens. You become whole. You become real. You become free. Not free from being human. Free to be human. Fully. Completely. Authentically. Without apology. Without shame. Without pretense. Just you. Real you. Imperfect. Beautiful. Messy. Real. And that is what the world needs. Not more perfect people. More real people. Not more spiritual people. More authentic people. Not more enlightened people. More present people. And you are becoming that. With every moment of honesty. Every choice of presence. Every act of authenticity. You are becoming more you. More real. More alive. And that is the goal. Not perfection. Not enlightenment. Not becoming someone else. But becoming more fully yourself. Your true self. Your real self. Your authentic self. And this here. This now. This yourself. This is where you have always belonged. This is what you have always sought. This is who you have always been. Just covered. Hidden. Forgotten. But never lost. Never gone. Never actually absent. Always here. Waiting. For you to stop. To be still. To recognize. And now you have. Maybe not completely. Maybe not permanently. But you have glimpsed it. You have tasted it. You have touched it. The truth of what you are. And that glimpse cannot be unseen. Cannot be unknown. Cannot be forgotten. Not completely. It is in you now. Working. Growing. Deepening. Like a seed planted in darkness. Growing unseen. Pushing toward light. And one day it breaks through. And you see. And you know. And you remember. Fully. Completely. Undeniably. Not yet maybe. But coming. Always coming. Because that is the direction. That is the momentum. That is the path. From forgetting to remembering. From sleep to awakening. From death to life. And you are on it. You have always been on it. You will always be on it. Because there is nowhere else to be. Nothing else to do. No one else to become. This is it. This is the journey. This is home. So breathe. Relax. Let yourself be held. By this moment. By this presence. By this truth. You are safe. You are loved. You are home. And you do not have to do anything else. You do not have to become anything else. You do not have to prove anything else. You are already it. Already there. Already home. Just being. Just breathing. Just here. That is all. That is enough. That is everything. So let yourself rest. Let yourself land. Let yourself arrive. Not somewhere else. Right here. Right now. In this. As this. This is it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for opening to this. The fact that you are here, the fact that you listened this far, that is not an accident. That is calling. That is recognition. That is remembering. Something in you knew. Knew you needed this. Knew this was for you. Knew this was true. And that knowing matters. Trust it. Follow it. Let it guide you. Because it is your inner teacher. Your inner guide. Your true self calling you home. And it will keep calling. Keep guiding. Keep showing you the way. Through intuition. Through resonance. Through what feels true. So pay attention. Stay awake. Listen to that quiet voice inside. Not the loud voice of fear. Not the restless voice of the mind. But the deep knowing. The one that does not argue. The one that does not rush. The one that simply knows. It sees deeper than thought. Truer than belief. It is your direct connection to truth. So trust it. Honor it. Live from it. Even when it is uncomfortable. Even when it does not make sense. Because it is truth. It is you. It is home. And as you follow it, life unfolds. Naturally. Effortlessly. Not without challenge. But exactly as needed. Perfectly aligned with your awakening. Your job is simple. Show up. Be present. Stay open. The rest unfolds on its own. This is the path. This is the way. Living as human. Living as consciousness. Both. Fully here. Fully awake. Fully alive. Not someday. Now. Not when you are perfect. As you are. Not somewhere else. Right here. This moment. This breath. This presence. This is what you have been seeking. This is what you are. This is home. So rest here. Abide here. Live from here. Let everything else flow. Let it come. Let it go. Let it be. You are not controlling it. You are dancing with it. You are not forcing it. You are flowing with it. You are not making it happen. You are allowing it to happen. Through you. As you. This is grace. This is ease. And when you forget, when you get lost, when you contract back into ego, no problem. Just notice. Just remember. Just return. That is the practice. For life. Forgetting and remembering. Contracting and expanding. Losing and finding. Over and over. And that is perfect. That is the dance. That is being human. So be gentle with yourself. Be patient. Be kind. You are doing it. You are on the path. You are waking up. One moment at a time. One breath at a time. One choice at a time. And that is enough. And as we close, I want to leave you with one final reminder. Everything you heard here, you already knew. Deep down. Somewhere inside. You already knew. This was not new information. This was recognition. Remembering. Coming home to what you have always known but forgot. And that forgetting, that was necessary. Part of the journey. Part of the game. You had to forget to remember. Had to get lost to find your way home. Had to believe you were separate to recognize you are not. This is the divine play. This is the cosmic dance. This is how consciousness knows itself. Through forgetting and remembering. Through losing and finding. Through death and rebirth. Over and over. In infinite ways. Through infinite forms. And you are part of that. Not just part. You are that. The consciousness playing. The awareness experiencing. The being knowing itself. Through you. As you. So take this with you. Not as belief. As knowing. Not as concept. As lived experience. Not as philosophy. As reality. You are not who you thought you were. You are so much more. And so much simpler. You are the awareness in which everything appears. The presence in which life unfolds. The consciousness that is everything. That is not spiritual talk. That is direct truth. That is what you are. Right now. Always. Unchanging. And as you live from that, as you know that, as you be that, everything changes. Not dramatically, subtly, but profoundly. Life becomes lighter, easier, more joyful. Not because circumstances change, because you changed. Your relationship to circumstances changed. You are not at their mercy anymore. You are not making your peace depend on them anymore. You are rooted in something deeper. Something that cannot be shaken. Something that is always here. Peace. Presence. Being. That is your foundation. That is your home. That is what you are. And nothing can take that away. Nothing can disturb that. Nothing can change that. Ever. So live from that. Be that. Share that. Not through preaching. Through presence. Not through teaching. Through being. Not through words. Through your way of being in the world. Let your life be the teaching. Let your presence be the reminder. Let your being be the invitation. For others to remember. To recognize. To come home. Because we are all on this journey together. We are all waking up together. We are all consciousness remembering itself together. And as each one wakes up, it makes it easier for the next. And the next. And the next. Until we all remember. Until we all see. Until we all come home. That is the vision. That is the possibility. That is what is unfolding. Right now. In you. In me. In all of us. We are waking up. Collectively. Gradually. Beautifully. And your part is just to be awake. Just to remember. Just to be present. That is all. That is your contribution. That is your service. That is your gift. Just be awake. Just be present. Just be yourself. Your true self. Your real self. Your authentic self. And that is enough. That is everything. That changes the world. One person at a time. One moment at a time. One choice at a time. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for waking up. Thank you for remembering. The world needs you. Needs your presence. Needs your awakening. Needs you to be you. Fully. Authentically. Courageously. So go. Live. Be. From this place. From this knowing. From this truth. And trust that everything else will unfold. Perfectly. naturally, beautifully, as it always has, as it always will. You are that. You have always been that. You will always be that. This is truth. This is home. This is what you are. Rest in that. Be that. Live that.